Boom.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off the Lip Radio podcast. That's the first time we've said that, folks.
No more radio.
We're changing it up. We were a radio show,
yeah.
but we're actually a podcast. So from now on, we will be the Off the Lip podcast.
Show number 982.
Jeez, 982 shows. Those are all on YouTube. If you want to see them, you can go to offlipradio.com. They're on there. Any podcast platform, you can listen to all of them. But tonight, Neil.
A good show.
Good show.
We have no idea what's going to happen.
We don't.
We have no idea if these guys are going to mesh. You know what they know they will, because these ladies right here tonight, they give it a lot back. They're going to run the community. They're all part of running our community, and so we first of all we say thank you to them for coming on the show, and thank you for being part of the community.
I love that.
Should we start with which heads or tails?
Hang on. I got right here. Sarah Ryan, heads. Heads it is.
Sarah goes first. Sarah goes first. Sarah, why the heck are you here?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Come closer.
Come on up to the bar.
Come up closer.
I think you asked me here because of our hard workout this morning. No.
I was too busy F-bombing to talk to you. What the fuck? Burpees? Are you out of your mind?
Complaining in the back.
Bitching.
Row,
The back. Guess what I am though?
What?
The back row ruler.
You are the back row ruler.
That's straight.
Somebody has to do it.
Well, Sarah Ryan here just became. Were you?
I will be. So I am currently the captain of the Capitola Police Department.
Yep.
Police captain.
Yep.
But I will be assuming the position of chief of police for the city of Capitola
Yep.
at the end of November.
In a historical moment there, Neil.
And we're gonna do our drunk driving show in December.
It's your turn.
I know.
I'm not going through the city of Capitola.
No. We do a drunk driving show here every year.
Oh, okay.
Just to show people that what you basically what you can have is 2 Coors Lights and you're done.
Yeah.
So we do a couple drinks and we get breathalyzed, and it's obvious that.
Yeah.
And we do it to prevent an accident or putting somebody.
So we
in
had
jail.
a couple years ago, Aaron Ching and Christina Inagawa and the guys from CHP, and he got schnockered.
I blew
But-
like a 6.0 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It was really bad.
But it's a really interesting
We
show.
like to see what you are after construction.
Yeah, I mean, basically you can have a
You're okay and you're not okay.
no, you can have a Coors Light and you're pretty much
Yeah, and depending on what you have in your system and how
yeah.
you metabolize.
So we do that. We're gonna do that. You got that to look forward to.
Okay.
We'll do that. But I just have a question for you. Has it sunk into you that you are the first female police chief in Santa Cruz history?
Not yet. To be honest, I mean, there's been so much around the transition and supporting Chief Daly as he retires and ends a fantastic 29 and a half year career. So I'm still in this support role really, and then also with my promotion up, there's backfilling that needs to happen. So thinking about the future of our agency and the leadership positions that are going to become available there. So it's still really focused outward.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really focused inward yet, and to be honest, I don't know if I will focus a whole lot inward. A lot of what I've done has been, about what's happening outside of myself, and so yeah.
Well, so two things. Andy's got 1 foot out the door, 1 foot in Tahiti. Okay, so he's like this.
They booked
Right?
a flight to Tahiti today.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But tell us something you want to tell something that you a vision that you have, or maybe you want to change in Capitola that would be that something you want to bring to the table.
So I think one of my strong points are just my deep roots here. I've grown up in Santa Cruz County, and so just taking our collaboration to the next level. I think one of the senior officers said to me the best after giving me a congratulatory hug was, "It's great you're not taking over something that's broken." Mm-hmm. And so I get to start where Andy left off and take my skill set with collaborations throughout the county and just take it to the next level.
Right.
And honestly, law enforcement is changing so much, as it should all the time. We're evolving. So bracing for impact on what's next. How can we change?
Can you talk a little bit what's involved? It's changed and involved. Can you tell us what's involved in Capitola?
So I think some of the things that have changed very recently is our awareness of how we can support the community when we have a natural disaster, really. Being on the coastline the way we are, the last couple winters have been really challenging, and how public safety plays a role in that. So there's some changes there, as well as our law enforcement's approaches to the community. Our level of education and understanding and training has just really shifted to more reflect the people that we're serving,
Right.
versus staying within just
Right.
this law enforcement culture.
Commercial break. Okay, here's the commercial.
Yep.
She's next, right here. Monica Martinez. Okay, she's off on the sideline. She's trying to exit the door. She's backpedaling, folks. She's backpedaling.
You'll be on there.
Yeah, you hang on. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, so those of you,
I got my badge.
I know, yeah.
Look at you, huh?
Yeah, we got it.
Uh-huh.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
You're married to somebody in police. Are you the highest ranking in the house now?
Sir, yes, sir.
And
I have been for a long time.
who's the better shot?
Oh, God, I have to give him public props.
He's better?
He's incredible. Nah, he's on the SWAT team with the sheriff's office, and he's
Okay.
a sniper. He's got mad skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not pulling rank at home.
Heck no.
I love that. A few things that I've seen.
He might come storming through the door here in a minute. Yeah, bullshit.
And he's got a gun.
You gotta, yeah.
A few things that I've seen change, having been a business owner in Capitola for many years, is the community, like you talked about. I think Andy really did a great job of that. But you're more prolific in social media now, which explains the efforts you make to keep the community safe. The change in the village parking situation. There's actually like a heart. Not that those guys that have retired didn't have hearts, but I feel like being a business owner in Capitola Village, you don't get a ticket while you're paying the meter, situation. And so I feel like that was a really big change, and I've seen firsthand people respond to that. And so I think that's amazing. And I also think you have probably one of the friendliest staff. You're very
Well, you
personable.
kind of have to be, because there's so many. Capitola, every weekend there's something going on. Capitola is a money-making machine. Right? There's always art and wine, and there's blah 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 blah. There's 1,000 things every weekend. There's something going on, so you kind of have to be, right?
Right.
And also, you rose the ranks.
You did.
Andy rose the ranks.
Yes.
And I feel like that's how you keep the community.
Because they know your face.
Yeah, they know you, and I think that's really important. That you're not just changing the face of someone who came from somewhere else.
Right.
By having promoting from within, you have that connection with the community for long term.
There was 20 women that got classes more who didn't know your face, and now they do know your face as a police chief.
That's true. Yeah, they keep announcing that in all the workout classes.
Yeah, I make sure, because I make sure they do.
How many are on staff at Capitola?
We have 21 sworn and 32 total, because we have non-sworn staff, like the parking that you're referring
Right. Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
Record staff. It just takes a lot of staff to make that whole operation run. So
And I feel like those, I'll call them kids because they're younger than
I
me.
know, they're so
yeah,
young, yeah.
But I feel like those kids. I mean, I feel like they want to work their way up.
I agree. Yeah, it's been really, because you talk about being there and rising through the ranks. I've hired a lot of those people, so paying that forward with what the messaging is and the interactions with the community, what the expectations are. It's been just gratifying to be a part of that, and to see that and to hear it from community members, business owners, that it's actually the efforts, the vision, that it's being reflected out, and that that's working.
There's a couple of things I also want to congratulate you guys on doing. One is I have a store in the Capitola Mall, and you came this year and you did basically a seminar on theft,
Loss prevention.
loss prevention. I thought that was awesome. I know one of the biggest things in the wheelhouse that people are concerned and talking about are the electric bikes.
Yes.
And I like the social media aspect of what you guys are doing, because you are trying to make an effort to educate by doing stuff at the junior highs and teaching kids how to ride safe, I guess.
Yeah.
I drove home yesterday on Circle Avenue, ambulance, fire truck, and an electric bike. I'm like, God, you knew it was.
And one of the neat things that's happening too with this county, I can just say for the county in general, we're a smaller county, and we work so collaboratively that from the commander level with law enforcement, we're talking about how can we get better with e-bike messaging, because we've done a lot of youth outreach, but we think we need to really reach some parents. Parents are buying the bikes. Parents are allowing, and so how can we do more education?
Do you shake your head like these parents are letting these kids ride around these bikes that do 50 miles an hour?
I do a little bit. I mean, I know it's fun, and as an e-bike rider, and this is a very e-bike friendly community. We've put e-cycles all over the county, and so, but we need to start taking that next step about education. A lot of these kids, they don't even have a driver's license. They don't actually know the rules of the road. And then young people, we always, you think you're invincible. So
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
Well, I mean, we just had an accident recently in Opal Cliffs here. Where,
She got killed, huh?
The woman who passed away was, I believe, almost 80.
Right.
And the gentleman on the bike was almost 80.
Right.
So, it's not just kids that need, that probably was preventable with, some input.
Right, some input. I think, it's coming. The e-bikes are here. They're here to stay. They're accessible clearly to the youth, and laws need to catch up with them. So education is huge.
Are you going to change anything that's in place right now? Like, hey, Andy, I'm changing that.
The colors of the walls.
Yeah. You see?
Carpet.
Maybe take down some of all the surf photos.
Really?
No.
Yeah. No.
So Andy has a secret surfboard locker.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
It's a secret.
I know where that thing is.
Are you gonna do a little remodeling in there?
No. He can have that.
All right.
He can have that. So I think some changes are of course going to happen. But really right now, because like I said, that the change is a lot. It's the most I've ever experienced. I've worked outside of Andy. I've worked for only outside chiefs. So when you talk about the continuity and someone not having to come in from the outside, take a year and a half, 2 years to get to know the community. So really, for me, I need to put the command staff back together because I'm promoting up, which leaves vacancies all the way. It's hard to get people. Not a lot of people want to go into law enforcement these days, so recruiting is challenging.
Yeah.
And we're battling all the other agencies that are just as in need around the county. So until we can feel whole and set, I think my biggest vision is to wrap my arms around the agency and the community and pull us in, and then
You're perfect for that.
I think I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
you are.
When we had Highway Patrol here recently, their recruiting problem was cost of living.
Yes.
And you could basically the salary's the same wherever you live in the state.
Yeah.
And so they have most people come out here. And you would think coming to the beach is awesome. To them, it was almost like a prison term because they had to come out here and go broke.
Right.
Until
I'm
they get
one
back.
of few that lives in East Santa Cruz County within my agency, and it's heartbreaking, and the commutes that they're having to do on top of shift work while serving the community and carrying the stress that comes with that. So cost of living is a huge.
I also think real quick is that you've kind of outgrown the facilities.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and that's a big part of the future of Capitola.
Yeah. Well, we are pushing on those walls. We're in a real challenging location. We've learned that with natural disasters that we're in the floodplain. As emergency services, one of the first things we do is we move our patrol cars out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
And so facilities is a big issue, and that flows into morale. People feeling good. They spend. It's a 24-hour operation, so these folks they live there.
Right. Because the disaster is going to happen again.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's inevitable.
Yeah,
right.
We're not saying if, we're just saying when.
Yeah.
And how.
So you guys are fully prepared for the next. Always prepared.
As prepared as we can be. We actually had some conversations today about starting to deploy that messaging as we approach winter.
Right.
Making sure that we encourage people to also hear our messages.
Yeah.
And when we say, people get so curious when the ocean gets crazy.
Yeah.
And we want to go to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better to go away.
Back away.
And it was
absolutely.
and we had 2 winters in a row of disaster storms.
We did.
And keep our fingers crossed this year. And the efforts to rebuild the wharf and and to get the restaurants reopened and you had Biden here.
Right.
And that must have been was that a drain on police force?
It was a lot. It was this exciting event on the front end that was phenomenal, and when it was over, it was like that was a lot of work. To have President Biden come to town as well as Governor Newsom twice, and all their staff. So it was quite a large undertaking.
Do you feel who in their right mind would open up a restaurant at the end of the wharf?
Who in their right mind?
Yeah. It's gonna come, right? It's
You gotta put it on stilts.
right. That was a quote from Mr. Guy Kawasaki, by the way.
Who puts a restaurant in?
Who said who would put a restaurant in the wharf and
Yeah.
Well, you know,
it's
if
got
you
it's
think
got
about
a
it, though,
short lifespan.
Well, if you think about it, it's the 83 and 84, the restaurant was damaged. And then it went through a good 35 years or almost close to 40 years before we had another major problem out there.
Right.
So we just happened to have 2 superstorms in 2 years.
And I'll come to you in a second, talking about climate change. How some of the supervisors going, oh, we're going to address climate change. What are you going to do? Get the hell out of bed in the morning and go, I'm fixing fucking climate change?
Right.
So that's a long-term project.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
Right? You got that up there. You got that. You've got the fires going on, and God knows what else you got going on up there. We're going to come to you in a second. You're go on the fire.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about just supporting as it does change.
Yeah.
And how can we shift, pivot, and
Right.
to just support the change? What does that look
Let me ask you a very important question. How's my yoga? My postures, and how am I doing in yoga? By the way,
Let it roll.
What?
Here we go.
what are you talking?
You're
How-
to tell the truth.
Have I gotten better?
You know, Neil, it's hard to pay
Well, here we go.
attention to your posture. I mean, if you're saying time about laying on your back,
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's perfect.
Just
Standing posture,
not good.
we'll get back on that. You gotta stand up.
Does he groan a lot in
Oh my
yoga?
god.
And let me ask you a question. How long are you going to nurse that injury you got? Yeah.
Achilles injury?
Yes,
Well,
bad, I know.
I got 6 more months.
Okay, you're up.
Hey, but question: what day are you sworn in?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
December 4th at 11:30.
Where at the
It'll be at the Capitola City Council chambers.
okay.
And then
Public welcome or you-
without the public, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
The public absolutely they're.
Well, we got to go,
they're
TC.
the VIP
We're going to film that.
guests.
We got to film that.
And did I hear there might be
Yeah.
tacos too?
And there's gonna be
Tacos. There we go. There we go.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So you gotta feed people, right?
Yeah.
For the food. So
Well, we'll come for that. We'll have to film that before you.
December 4th.
December 4th, 11:30.
All right.
Because parking will be a little better in Capitola at that time. It's
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely, the community needs to come. Like
Yeah.
I said, that's what I do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not here
All right.
without
We're
The
gonna.
first female police chief. in
Well,
Santa
she was
Cruz
heading that.
history.
She's
that.
heading.
Need a book report or something?
She's heading that way.
That is awesome, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
I'm
appreciate
very proud of you, and I think our community is in good hands. But I just think that's an amazing achievement, and I am a giant feminist, and I think that we need more women in big positions, and so I think that's awesome.
Well, there's a lot of women. There's a lot of women this year vying for positions, more than men, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, right?
My mom ran our house, and she did a way better job than my dad. And so I was raised knowing the power.
Yeah.
So congrats.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I hope it's a great finishing to your career.
I think it's going to be fantastic. I mean, I mentioned to you before, I'd like to give a shout out to all my partners around the municipalities and the county, because their welcoming to me to the table has been a sign that we have evolved and we have arrived to a better place.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to watch the profession grow, and I've been welcomed in, and so that just speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. You're next. Come on.
Monica, come on in.
She's not done with her yet. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Monica Martinez, who is vying to be for the. How many seats are there?
There's 5 seats.
It's 5 seats. That's a lot,
Yeah. that's
right?
good.
5 seats.
Yeah.
And we came on the show. She was so impressive that we gave her our endorsement. We don't endorse nothing.
We're very proud of you. We are excited to see what happens next week, and we wish you the best. And you know, it's been a heated sort of deal. You've been working your butt off, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
How many doors you knocked on?
Over 1,000.
Over
Yeah.
1,000 doors. And what day did you commit to do this? How long ago was that?
Gosh, I would say we're going into the 2.5, 3 years ago. I knew that I needed to step up and do something.
What did you want to change?
You know, I'll never forget this moment. It was like in 2021,
Mhm.
and we've all been quarantined, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for almost a year, I've got 2 kids who are distance learning, so it's like kindergarten and first grade over Zoom. Okay?
Right.
I'm running a healthcare organization
Right.
remotely, and the power went out. and we were
Yes.
in the middle of a 2-day power outage. And I was just like, something has got to change. And I knew, like, I've been a public servant my entire life.
Was it hashtag FPG&E?
That's a good start. That's a really good start. We can't even say like the P word in our district because it's such a bad guy. And so yeah, I just knew that I've been about creating change in communities since forever, and I knew that it was time for me to step up and serve my own community. I live in Felton, and Santa Cruz Mountains have been hit so hard over the last few years, and so it was time. And so at that time, we didn't know what the 5th district race would look like. We didn't know if Supervisor McPherson was going to run again, or kind of what the plan was.
And he was well loved up there.
Yeah,
right?
He's done a good job.
Yeah.
But he's turned 80 this year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, that's
we're all
enough.
Super grateful for his impact, and also I think we're all clear, and he's clear, that his time has come. And
Yeah.
we'll celebrate him, and also just hope to fill those shoes.
It seems like, and we talked a little bit earlier, the fires create a political firestorm almost
Yeah.
from the results
Yeah.
and the rebuilding and the disappointment and frustration.
Yeah.
That's got to be a huge part of what you're dealing with up in your...
Yeah, it's the number one issue in the 5th district. Absolutely. First of all, disaster recovery was completely botched. The county there were so many more opportunities to support our fire victims to get back on their feet that were missed. And I think that there's more we can do, but we also, as you guys are sharing, like, we know that the next disaster is going to be here any moment.
Right. It's right around the corner.
It is. In our county, we used to look at disasters as like this once every 10 years there'd be a big storm or a fire or something like that. Earthquake.
And it's interesting. It's interesting. It's how you partner with Capitola, because the storm they're dealing with is going to show up on your doorstep in like another half an hour.
1,000%. Yeah, we're all in this together.
Right.
And so, over the last 7 years or 6 years, we've had 7 federally declared disasters in just 6 years in this county.
Right.
And so what that tells me, and I know for folks leading other jurisdictions as well, is that we can't continue to reinvent the wheel every time a disaster strikes. We need to recognize that the impacts of climate change are a public safety issue, and we need to recognize each jurisdiction's role in preparing for it. And on one hand, it's prevention. So up in our area, there's a lot more we can do around vegetation
And
management.
do you think people are doing that?
I think that there's so much more that can be done.
Okay.
They are trying to put some wires underground now and work on it. But
Not so much in the mountains, you know. What we're seeing is PG&E is like cutting down trees.
and not really telling people.
And not telling people leaving the trees like in their yards. And also...
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Yeah. You come home and your tree's laying in the yard.
No shit.
That doesn't actually like stop fires from coming, And so we need to do more to hold PG&E accountable, but we also really need to help our neighborhoods mobilize around like the FireWise strategies to help prevent forest fires in their communities. Right now we have, as a county, a very like go it alone approach. Like the neighborhoods that are a resource, that have community leadership, are going to survive.
Yeah.
And then the ones who are a little bit lower in economic status, or have just like working parents, they don't have time to organize FireWise, they're going to burn because they're all that the vegetation's left there, and there's not the home hardening hasn't happened yet. So I'd like to see the county play a more active role in unifying and organizing the neighborhoods, providing some financial support.
Which is going to be your job.
That's what I'd like to do. One of the first things, if I'm elected, is to provide more incentives to neighborhoods that want to organize. We shouldn't ask people to pay for their green waste, for example, and their chipping programs. And there's times in the year when that is expensive. And so I'd like to see the county dedicating those resources, because an ounce of prevention will make such a big difference at the end of the day, because that cost, if there is a fire, will be borne by the county.
It also as well, there's a lot of people that can't get homeowners insurance up there now as well. Which has to
Well, if
be,
we do, it's expensive.
I mean, and the state-sponsored insurance is very
Fair
expensive.
plan, which we call
Yeah.
Fair plan.
unfair plan.
Yeah. So there's so much more going on. I have a home out of state, and it's in a forested area, and they're so organized. They have organized like a volunteer fire department within the whole community, and there's constant involvement in it. The county brings dumpsters for yard cleanup, and all yard waste goes into dumpsters for free. I mean, they do things. They actually have people that will help you buy your own fire truck.
Yeah.
A pumper truck, because you can get old fire trucks for really cheap. So there's people in the neighborhood who actually have their own fire trucks, and it's really
You
organized.
just want to drive a fire truck.
I do. Actually, I've been on it.
I know you. I know you. That's what I'm trying. There's no fire at all.
I want to wave the kids. Be awesome. But so I know that's a big part of what's going up there in the frustrations. Now, Santa Cruz County, my understanding is, maybe you can help me out, it's one of the slowest in the states to help you rebuild a home.
Yeah, it's been a disaster, honestly.
Who was telling us about the airplanes? The airplanes that about the fire. There was no one near here.
Well,
Who was telling us about that? Jason Nee? Was it Jason Nee, the fire guy? I can't remember. But they were in like Sacramento.
Yeah, the resources are that's a big problem, and you have to. It's almost like the Friends get the resources when it comes to that.
Yeah. And I think what you're referring to really is just like the red tape in our planning department, which has completely held up folks trying to rebuild. And, we lost 900 homes during the fire, and we have a housing shortage in this community. We can't afford to not have those homes come back online.
Do you have a number of how many have been rebuilt since the fire?
Quite a few.
It's a little over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not adequate. I think we can all agree with that. And also
Because those 100 people went through a lot of red tape, right?
Absolutely.
Was no day at the beach.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Nightmare.
It's been
right.
expensive.
And costly.
Well, and also the cost to build a home is so much higher, and what you're insured for is not normally close to replacement.
Right.
And so that's a huge problem.
Exactly.
Okay, we'll talk about the Mohawk. Ready? The Mohawk started. What was that? When was the Mohawk? When was the idea?
For me?
Yeah. Gotta know.
Okay.
But Sarah's gonna get one too.
It's been a dream.
We want to know what the
to
Mohawk.
have this wonderful
Yeah.
shaved sides
Yeah.
and the little mullet in the back.
I like that. TC, you might be going that look.
I think it's great.
Yeah. And
When was this though? Long time ago.
When did I cut it? It hasn't been that long. No, I did it like a real good lesbian does haircuts. I started with the half side shave, and that was like the first step into getting shorter hair, and then I just went with all of it, and it's been super fun, and how cool that I. This close to potentially being elected with the haircut that.
Any feedback? Any
who I am.
Is there any pushback on that? Go, I'm not voting for you. You got a Mohawk. But hell no.
I stay off the underbellies of the internet, so who knows? There probably is. But, yeah.
But you're knocking on doors.
I'm being myself. Yeah.
And you're out there knocking on doors, talking about what matters, and anybody that is lives in the community would hope that somebody with your energy and want to make a change would be in office.
Yeah, thank you.
Top 3 things you want to check. You get there. You hit the ground running. What top 3 things you want to do?
Yeah, the first thing I want to do is to create a true. You asked how many homes been rebuilt. I want to know every single parcel that was burned and what's their status. Did they move out? Did they sell?
Right.
Were they underinsured? What's their plan?
Right.
So then we can be accountable to them.
And how many?
Believe it or not, that has not happened yet.
Wow.
I know.
That's
Believe
insane.
it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Number one. Number two?
The next one is in the disaster preparedness area. I want to help to unify the FireWise communities working with the Fire Safe Council, and to create a county-wide organized approach to our fire mitigation efforts. So not just in the 5th district, but really across the entire county.
Right.
And then the third area, close to my heart, I'm a parent. I've got 2 kids that are in elementary school. I also have been the CEO of our county's largest health and human services nonprofit for the last decade. So I see the need. And there's so much more that can be done to expand mental health and behavioral health services for youth and
in San Lorenzo Valley,
in San Lorenzo Valley
right.
and across the county.
Of course.
And so we've got huge unmet substance use treatment or substance use issues in the valley. The highest rates actually in the whole county. And we don't have services locally, and there's a lot more that can be done. So yeah.
And that is a countrywide problem.
It is,
in my opinion. And especially with it's not the drugs that we're kids anymore.
Right,
We're losing kids at an ungodly rate.
The opioid epidemic
it's terrible.
Hitting our community. We see the impact of fentanyl every day at Compass.
Yeah.
No, that's those are 3 great items.
Thank you.
And so we're 1 week away from the election.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
She's ready.
I'm ready, but I gotta tell you, are you ready? Because you gotta vote I think this is my biggest.
As you say,
part.
TC, accept the.
Vote and then accept the results.
Votes and
Yeah.
accept the
Yeah,
results.
that's most.
fair.
As
Yeah.
you see on my hat,
Yeah.
I voted. And if you don't vote, you can't complain.
Yeah.
And so get out and vote, everybody. It's so
About
important.
20% of the ballots in our county have been submitted already.
Mm-hmm.
So 80% of you have
Get-
a ballot sitting by your mail stack,
Right.
and you need to submit that. So get it
Love
out
it.
there.
What's your favorite Marianne's ice cream flavor?
Oh
Whoa.
gosh, I mean I'm mint chip all the time, all
Oh,
the way,
yes,
everywhere.
me
Doesn't
too.
matter who makes it. I'm a mint chip girl.
Me too. I
Yeah.
love mint chip.
Anything chocolate.
Ooh.
Anything chocolate from Marianne's?
Anything that's chocolate.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not that picky at
I
all.
love it.
Get back in there when all three of you here.
Powerful show. We got some powerful women on the show tonight, Neil.
There's a lot of
It's exciting.
right.
Yeah, it
I've
really
been.
is.
I'm excited to hear. So I grew up in the San Lorenzo Valley.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so just hearing about and worked overtime after the CZU fires
Yeah.
to support
Thank
public
you.
safety. So yeah, it was very
Whoa.
very impactful.
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear about a woman chief in our area. We'll get to partner in different ways, and our district, 5th district, has never elected a woman. The history of the district.
Your district never elected a woman?
Never elected a woman.
No, really?
So we could have another first.
Yeah, and we haven't had a woman on the board in 12 years, so it's been all men up there, and it's gonna happen because
Yeah.
between us and the 2nd district, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, so this
it's
will
really
be-
exciting, and we're all
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
start 2025.
I love that.
Strong, and hopefully strong women elsewhere in other seats across the country.
Well,
So
like I said, my mom kicked ass in our household, and I am. If it wasn't for women, our planet would suck. And so I am proud of both of you.
Thank you.
And,
We
wish
both
you
are,
the
yeah.
best. Yeah, we really do wish you the best.
we appreciate that.
And going back to everybody, please vote. It's so important.
voted
And
yesterday.
December 4th,
And there's a party.
December 4th,
There's a
tacos in
bash.
Capitola Village.
Yeah.
What kind of tacos? A couple of different flavors?
Yeah, now I don't. Yeah, lots of
But
tacos.
now that we've announced it,
There's a bash.
there's
Very
gonna
many
be.
people watch this show. So
Well, thank you guys both for your service. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
We
you.
TC and I appreciate. We love you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. We know it was different. We know. I told this. When we put people together, you never know what's going to happen. But always something good happens.
We haven't had a bad show.
Nope.
We've had a couple wacky guests out of our 1,000 shows.
Yeah, we had a couple-
always had great shows.
Yeah.
And meeting people like you is what makes this show great. for
Yeah.
Neil and I.
Because you might need her, you might need her, and she might need you, and you never know in the future, right? You never know, right?
It's great. So I hope everybody watching had a great show tonight.
And tomorrow night, next week is election night, so we're taking the
we're
night off.
The night off
Yeah.
next week, and we'll be back the week after that.
Yeah.
As you heard earlier, we are now called the Off the Lip.
We got to get a new
Podcast.
logo. Get a new
We
logo.
got Jimbo on a new logo.
Got work to do,
and,
got work to
Colby's
do.
going to be involved in this one, so we'll have a new logo, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. And once again, go vote and accept the results. And we'll see you next time on the Off the Lip Podcast.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night.
Thank you.